away. The count remains 0-2. Line drive and foul ball. Cubs pick up a run on the RBI double. And the lead is now 5-0. Back here in Wrigley Field, Tatis Jr. signed by the White Sox 2015 for $700,000. And then eventually moved in the James Shields trade in June of 2016. That's the third, and that chance handled. Throws to first, one away here in the fifth. At the plate, Tyler Fitzgerald.
Swing a little more patient, take some pitches, see if you can extend those at-bats and get some base runners on.
See ya! Strikes him out for the second time today. Eddie Rosario digs in now, fly to right, his first time. On the inside corner for a strike. Hit in the air out to center field. Crow Armstrong in position. Makes the grab, and that'll end the inning. Ready to go for the last half of the inning. Here's a big power threat. Number 20. Waldron back to work. Swings and misses. Strike one.
You know, these Cubs, simply put, are producing a lot of quality swings. Everything seems to be clicking, and the 6 extra base hits in the game kind of tells you everything you need to know. They're not getting fooled up there at all.
The pitch. The shortstop takes the ball. Out towards right center field. One up, one down. So here's Kyle Tucker now. Foul ball. Base is empty, one away. Last half of inning number 5. Right side. Oh, look at the stop. To his knee, the throw, and very nicely done for the out.
Look at how he dives right there. He's up to both knees. Not enough time to get to his feet, but he threw it canning across the diamond to get the runner.
On the ground, and that one handled. Tosses to first, and that is the inning. Top of the 6th inning, and now the DH, Derek Hill. Swung on, popped up on the infield. Sierra hauls it in for the out. And a quick out, number 1.
All right, here's a fun fact. Wrigley Field opened up in 1914, but they didn't have the ivy on the outfield walls until the late 1930s when Bill Veeck suggested planting it on the walls when they renovated the stadium. And now it's probably the most iconic part of the ballpark.
The Padres yet to pick up a hit here. It's out of here. He'll circle the bases. His first homer of the year, and they close the gap. It's 5-1.
He's bringing the thunder in a rainstorm. How in the world did he manage to hit that pitch out?
One down. Here's Miguel Sano. Late on that fastball.
0-1.
Way out front for strike 2.
Just an outstanding job of spinning the baseball, moving it around, doing what he does.
Battling here as he fouls it away.
Man, he'd like to have that pitch back.
And that one lifted in the air center field. Crow Armstrong pulls it down, and there's two gone. So the San Diego batting order turns over. And now the center fielder, Jackson Merrill. And first offering is fouled off. Fastball for a strike. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. That's his 8th strikeout of the game. But not before they're able to draw closer with this blast. It's now a 5-1 ball game. And we're back. Now the left fielder, Ian Happ. Yeah, that's fouled off. Cubs made Ian Happ a first-round pick in 2015. He played at the University of Cincinnati as an infielder. Played a little bit of outfield, but a guy in 2022. What a year, Chris. Both an all-star and a Gold Glover. Swings and misses. Struck him out.
Well, obviously the knuckleball, it's not a pitch designed to blow by hitters, but you'll see this every once in a while. You give up on that pitch at the plate, and then the last moment it darts back into the strike zone, and you're just not ready to get a swing off in time. Looks like it's 100 miles per hour. I tell you what, I know from personal experience it's not a good feeling.
And now the catcher comes up to hit, Bobby Wolf, and he's already left his mark on this game.
He certainly has, Boo, with a 2-run shot in the second inning, and that made an early impact on this game in a big way.
That one finds the corner, and that is strike one. And there's a foul ball. There's a swing and a drive. And it hits the fence. Around first, digging for two. To second, pulls him off the bag.
Good two-strike hitting right there, Boo. A bit of a lost start for some, so that was nicely done to beat the odds. When you can have it jumps off the ball like that, you're thinking double at the very least. Put a great swing on it, and man, he wasn't fooled at all.
On the ground to third. Zips it to first, and that is that. Welcome back as we take a look at how today's starting pitchers have fared so far. And first offering is fouled off. Just missed.
So what we're seeing is a lineup that's just out of sync with the pitcher. They're guessing wrong, and their timing's off. For the batter, their swings are hesitant, and that's exactly what you want on the mound.
Keeps the at-bat going with a foul ball. In the air, right side. Tucker should have it. Puts it away for the out.
Oh, I think the key, I mean, if he can get through one more inning, anything after that, a hitter or two is bonus, but they should be lined up good enough to get to the finish line.
Number 58 in the box again, takes a strike. And they'll do it again. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Chris, third time through the order, and a couple of quick outs for the starter.
Yeah, he's been very frugal today, economical with the pitch count.
Sliced hard but foul. Two down, nobody on. Here in the top half of inning number 7. That's down and in. Foul ball there. Here's a high fly ball out to center. Crow Armstrong should have it. Drops into the glove, and that'll do it. Set for the last half of the seventh. So up now for Chicago, Pete Crow Armstrong. Edge of the zone for a strike. Going on. It feels like we might be headed towards a rain delay if the weather doesn't ease up, Chris.
Yeah, the umpiring crew are going to pay attention to how the weather is impacting this game. And the moment it becomes dangerous, I think, is the moment we'll be forced to take a break.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. And he's registered 3 Ks in this one. Now the third baseman. In the air, right field. Makes the catch for the out. 2 outs, base is empty. Now the Cubs 4-hole hitter, 1 for 3. Cut on and lifted in the air. Tatis. And makes the grab. And the inning is over. Here at Wrigley Field, we go to the 8th. Now at the plate, Tyler Fitzgerald. The pitcher on Michael Lorenzen.
And he's got a nice lead to work with, so he should come in throwing strikes, attacking these hitters.
And first offering is fouled off. And there's your strike. Foul ball still 0-2. Right through there, got it. And that's the first out.
Well, they've had a great plan of attack for him tonight. I mean, finding all the holes in his swing and his approach, just frustrating for him up there. You strike out a guy 3 times in a game, I think that guy's got to go back and really study some video with his hitting coach, figure out how they're beating him, make this adjustment really quick, because word will get around the league in a hurry.
Hill in the box with 2 gone, and takes a look at a called strike. And there's the ball.
What's a good pitch there. Really had some run and finished a little up and in, just on the edge. And that's one of those, if you swing at it, hit a broken bat as you jog back. To the dugout.
Caught him looking for the K. Padres back here at the friendly confines. And now the right fielder, Kyle Tucker. Waldron back to work. To the right side. Oh, and it hits the base. Man aboard on the leadoff single. Giancarlo Stanton at the plate. He swings and fouls one off. It really feels like we might be running out of time before a rain delay is called. This rain is not letting up.
Yeah, and if we do get a delay, the unfortunate thing is the clock's going to start ticking.
Bogarts. Quick feed to second for 1. To Sano. Double play.
Oh, man, what a smooth double play. That was a thing of beauty from start to finish.
Hack now at the plate as he swings through strike 1. Hammered down the right side by foul. That one ripped. Fabian going back. Makes the catch up against the wall.
Leading off the Padres, the catcher, number 13, Luis Campusano.
And first offering is fouled off. On the ground, right side. Throws to first in time. And the leadoff man retired here in the ninth. He's 2 outs away. And now the first baseman, Miguel Sano. Swinging a foul out of play. Next offering is fought off foul. Bases empty, 1 away. Here the first foul off. Swing and a ball line to center. And that's down, a base hit. So he gets on base and keeps it going.
Right there, does a great job of staying in the big part of the field. Man, there are a lot of hits there.
Bogarts stands in now and watches strike 1. Next offering is fouled back. 1 strike away. Two outs. That one just missing inside. And that is ball 1. On the ground, right side. Steps on the bag himself. Ball game.
I don't care if you're a top team or you're a middle-of-the-pack team. Every ball club wants to be dominant at home. Winning a game like this just helps to boost the confidence and makes you look forward to coming out again for the next one.
5-1 is how.
Yes. Thanks.
What is your favorite car to drive outside the track?
Besides my 1983 Winnebago, favorite car outside the track, probably my car neighbor, 1,000 horsepower Crown Vic. Best car ever made.
If you're hungry and you pull up to a gas station, you're gonna get a snack. What would you get?
Oh, gas station snack, grabbing a Mountain Dew, and probably one of those apple pie Met RX bars. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
a protein bar? Yeah, one of them things.
How many speeding tickets do you have?
Speeding tickets? I've got one criminal drag racing charge, and just a couple speeding tickets, maybe 4 or 5 over the last 20 years.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Tell us about your story, how you started on YouTube, and now you're racing here with NASCAR.
Yeah, I got real lucky. Just started making videos, and people enjoyed watching them, and we just built a great team. I got a lot of great guys that people enjoy supporting and being a part of our show, and it's given us the opportunities to get out here. And, we bought a part of a company called Kinetic, and now we get to sponsor our own race car and do it. So it's I don't know, just a lot of magic and fun, and really a great group of people to support us.
What is your favorite car to drive?
We were all like dumb kids, just wanted to have a blast. We would all just hang out and drink beer and Greg
every
play
night.
guitars and play music really loud, really late. We all slept in those kinds of in the infirmary. Everyone had these little kind of their own little rooms and cots or whatever it is. And then the main infirmary where we would hang out as a group every night till 1 or 2 in the morning, playing music really loud. It was being a camp, but I don't remember filming scenes and everyone's kind of watching.
Yeah.
You were the one that I would go to, and I'm like, was that funny? Was that kind of? I really valued your opinion on everything.
Daniel.
Get inside my hat. Daniel. Get inside my head.
Do you know that in the film Titanic, the scenes following the sinking were shot in a massive 350,000-gallon tank? To create the effect of frozen corpses, a special powder was meticulously applied to the actors, which crystallized when it came into contact with water. Furthermore, wax was used on their hair and clothing to give them a convincingly wet look. Do you know that in the film...
Hi, my name is.
What are you most proud of to date with your racing career? I think when it comes to that question, I have two answers for it. Winning the USAC Triple Crown in '95, winning the National Midget, National Sprint, and the Silver Crown Championships all in the same season. That's something that I'm forever going to be proud of. I would say that and the championship at Homestead in 2011, with all the drama that happened that day. I mean, there was enough drama in that race to be dramatic for 5 races.
Right.
We had rain delays, we had car damage, not once, but twice, that we had to go to the back to fix, a bad pit stop that was late in the race that put us in a bad spot, and then a strategy at the end of trying to save fuel. And literally, Carl Edwards leading the race, us running second at the time, and I get a call on the radio from the crew chief to start saving fuel. Well, the only way you save fuel is to slow down. And he is literally 4 or 5 car lengths in front of me. And I asked him for a whole lap. I said, "Are you sure?" Silence for about half a lap. And he goes, "Yes, I need you to start saving fuel right now." And so when you start saving fuel and you watch the car in front of you going further and further away and getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and you're like, I'm giving this championship away right now as a driver. But that was the strategy that won us the race, that got us that track position at the end. So that moment in the Triple Crown, by far the 2 single biggest things I feel like in my career that I want people to remember.
Now raise the arm. Good. Now to the side. Good. Now bend at the elbow. Good. And now rotate from the shoulder slowly.
Oh, funky butt loving. Did you say funky butt loving? I'm sorry. I don't know what happened.
Now raise the arm.
How much is Teresa Earnhardt's net worth? After the premiere of the Dale Earnhardt series on Prime Video, the topic of his last marriage to Teresa Earnhardt has returned to the public eye, especially considering that after Dale's death in 2001, Teresa inherited a large portion of the NASCAR legend's estate. But what exactly is the estate of Dale's hated widow? First, she kept ownership of the Dale Earnhardt Inc. racing team, which she would eventually sell to Chip Ganassi in 2009. She also kept the large family estate in Mooresville, North Carolina, and finally a retirement home in Florida, along with her yacht, Sunday Money, which she ended up selling for $4 million in 2021. Did you know this about Teresa Earnhardt?
With the 78th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, Green Bay Packers select I'd say my biggest hope was that I didn't just throw the party for no selection. My draft party was in our airport hangar. There was like 300 people there. Small town, words get around.
The potential of SDSU's own getting selected in the NFL draft has the city of Brookings buzzing with excitement.
Whenever I saw like the 50s and 60s go by, I kind of got this feeling in my stomach like, oh no. All those negative thoughts kind of fill your head.
Is now helping Junior out of the car. He's the gas man. Helps Junior get out. Now Truex is in the car. They were trying to buckle him in to get the team helping him, and Mark trying to do what he can. Making sure that he's stepping into the speed.
I wanted to go and drive
with Earnhardt. That was the deciding factor why I went to RCR, because I wanted to race with on the same team as Dale Earnhardt, because I was a fan, my dad was a fan. So we walk in to Richard's office. I had my dad go with me, and we walk into Richard's office. He said, "Hey, we want you to drive this car." And I'm thinking, okay, well, that's what I'm going to do. So I go home and I had to go get a lawyer because I had just signed a 3-year contract
to buy your way
to drive the truck. I just bought my first house, and I had to take a second loan out on my house to buy myself out of RCR or my Liberty Racing contract to go to work for Richard. And we lived off of Delana's credit cards from the end of the season until we started it after I remember everything I had.
Yeah, I remember Richard, like, you're going to buy yourself out.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it. That's what you have to do, right?
Yeah, because he didn't want to get involved in making somebody mad or, breaching a contract or anything like that. So I had to go buy myself out of the contract. And then we started down my whole life was basically on the line, because I had just bet everything that I had that this was going to work out. And we missed the second race of the season at Rockingham. Well, I leave Delana at the racetrack. I go back to the hotel. I shut all the curtains and I lay in this bed. And she shows back up just mad because I left her at the racetrack. And next week I didn't really respond to anybody. Didn't really know how to handle anything. And what they do, they make 2 milk crates with my face on it.
Well, yeah, it was that one was the missing one.
The missing one, that's right.
The first one was missing, and it was we had it while you were gone, and then we had the one where you found on it.
That's right.
Will did all that. He did a really good job with that.
Yeah. So to this day, I still have those milk crates.
Third straight race, there's been no wreck. I mean, does that amaze you? Have you ever seen anything like that?
David, only you think about stuff like that. I don't know about what you think of during the race, but I try to figure out how to win the race and make my car go fast. I don't sit there and think of that petty crap that you think of.
Third straight race, there's been no wreck. I mean,
well, I went to Wisconsin for both undergrad and grad school. Go Badgers.
Boo, Indiana Hoosiers.
No, Badgers. Well, I went to Wisconsin for both undergrad.
Going to Daytona in July. All eyes are on you. How would he react? And how should we react for him?
There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. getting set to make his first laps here. What must he be thinking right now as he gets set to go out onto the track for the first time?
I guess I remember thinking to myself, it's going to be weird going through turn 3 and 4 a couple times.
The very first time he came off of turn 4, I'm like, that's where Dale died. I remember it so vividly, just that, like, that's right there, that moment. I just come to the corner, like, right there's where he split. And it did that for like 2 or 3 laps. It's hard not to do that. I mean, it's the last thing you saw from that perspective was Dale Earnhardt crashing and dying.
After a couple times, it was over. I think I was okay.
The way he handled himself, the way he didn't shy away from it. It's here, it's part of it, it's part of who I am, it's part of who I'm going to be for the rest of my life. He became, in a lot of ways, a leader in the garage that day.
Dale Jr. will be a very strong contender Saturday night. That's your story.
can you imagine the ovation that would happen if Earnhardt Jr. won the race Saturday night?
NASCAR returned to the site of one of its greatest tragedies.
The emotion of that weekend was palpable.
There he goes. Dale Earnhardt Jr. will start 13th here tonight. Many in the garage feel he could be the driver to beat them.
Some 180,000 fans are packed into the
National Speedway. Can Dale Jr. dominate Daytona like dear old dad used to? He has a fast car, just enough experience, and tonight most likely a little help from above. The car is on its feet. The 43rd Pepsi 400 goes running on NBC. Such emotion, pressure, and expectation. Many young men would break, but not Dale Earnhardt Jr. He was spectacular. Dale Earnhardt Jr. goes for the lead. The fans all jump to their feet. Earnhardt Jr. leads in Daytona. Check out those fans. They're absolutely loving it.
You could see emotion in the way he was driving. He was getting to the front. He was staying to the front. You were going to have to do something spectacular to knock him out.
You know, there's no point in any race where you go, man, I got this. I'm going to win this race. I always think, what's going to happen? What's going to happen to keep me from winning this race?
Several cars involved. 3, 4, 5. Earnhardt avoided the chaos, but the caution came in the middle of a pit save and put him in 7th place with only a few laps remaining.
I knew with our tires, we were going to eat those guys up. I just needed to make sure that I got all the right runs and never got followed up where I had to really lift and kill my run.
They come to the start-finish line. Time to settle the Pepsi 400 at Daytona. Look at Junior go there. Clear. Here.
We just sort of hopped right in front of the right people at the right time to get these really awesome pushes.
Junior on the outside of Mayfield for 3rd.
He just really made some really good moves at the right time. Looked a lot like his dad at that time, where his dad was so much better than we were at drafting, manipulating the air and moving people around. It just seemed like Dale Jr. caught on to that stuff a lot quicker than everybody else did, and especially that night.
To the outside for the lead in turn 4. Earnhardt Jr. races to the front of Daytona with the crowd. 180,000 on their feet, screaming wildly.
Noise of the crowd, this almost religious experience, this seeming miracle that Dale Jr. is going to win this race. It's one of the most stunning things I've ever experienced in sport. Lindsay, she was the brightest.
You're always on that darn game.
As a Bears fan, I want to ask how much you contemplated retirement. You know, you play golf, play more golf, man. You don't have to sign anywhere. It's just, take it easy.
I'm guessing you're like a normal Bears fan. The best thing about Bears fans is every year, this is our year. This is our year. We added this guy and that guy, and then we got a new coach from Detroit. Oh, man. Look out. Right? Packers fans, we know that, right? And what does every coach that signs with the Bears say? You got to beat the Packers, right?
Yeah.
The Packers don't give a shit.
Did you know for grown-ups, Kevin James's character, Eric Lamonsoff, was also mentioned in another Adam Sandler movie, The Wedding Singer, as a neighbor of Robbie Hart during the scene where Robbie and Julia are negotiating prices for wedding pictures. The name can also be heard in Click. 2. An early scene where the 5 male leads all sit in chairs outside the lake house in sunshine was actually extremely cold. External heaters were placed out of shot so the actors, who were all dressed in t-shirts and shorts, could warm themselves in between takes. CGI was used to create sunshine, as the weather was actually dull and wet during most of the shoot. 3. Rob Schneider's character is continually seen to be eating and drinking the most organic food and drink. This is very much keeping with the actor, who is very into healthy eating. 4. Maya Rudolph really was pregnant with her second child during filming of this movie. Production began in June 2009, and Rudolph gave birth in November 2009. 5. Gary Busey filmed a cameo as one of Lenny's clients, but it did not make the final cut. However, it can be found on the Blu-ray special features.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his family thought this was going to be another routine flight. Unfortunately, the pilots flying the plane made several mistakes, and it was a miracle they all managed to survive. That's why today we're going to talk about
moment
moment that I enjoy watching the most. There's a lot of them out there, but I always think about his 2000 Talladega win. He was like 18th with 4 laps to go and drove through the field and won the race. I think that's one of the best last 5 laps I've ever seen of a race, of watching a single car through the field and end up winning. So there's a lot of them, but I say that's my favorite. I think my favorite Dale Earnhardt moment that I enjoy watching the most, there's a lot of them out there, but I always think about his 2000 Talladega.
The researchers investigating the Titanic shipwreck noticed something strange. The front part of the ship was in relatively good condition at the bottom of the sea, while the rear part was in a much worse state and lay 2,000 feet away. Despite being submerged for 100 years, which would typically corrode iron and steel, there was a significant difference in the condition of the front and rear parts of the ship if they both sank at the same time. Researchers believe that on the night of the accident, something other than the collision with the iceberg caused more damage to the rear part of the Titanic. But what was it? On the fateful night in 1912, the Titanic was alone in the dark sea, about 700 kilometers away from Newfoundland, Canada. Out of the 2,240 people on board, 1,500 lost their lives. What was deemed unsinkable succumbed to the forces of nature and sank into the dark ocean. The only eyewitnesses were those who managed to escape the ship and jump into the icy waters of the Atlantic Ocean. The first rescue ship, RMS Carpathia, arrived 1.5 hours after the Titanic sank, fortunate to have received the Titanic's emergency message. Otherwise, the fate of those fighting for their lives in the cold waters would have been unknown, and the details of the Titanic disaster might have remained a mystery. Initially, no one knew what had happened to the ship, but survivors later revealed the collision with an iceberg. This was confirmed by the iceberg at the scene, which still had the Titanic's red paint on it. The investigation report stated that the iceberg tore a 300-feet hole in the right side of the Titanic, about 1/3 of the entire side. However, eyewitnesses claimed it took about 2.5 hours for the ship to sink. Investigators believe that if the iceberg had indeed torn a 300-feet hole, the ship should have sunk in minutes, not hours. To uncover the truth, the Titanic needed to be found. After 73 years, when the wreckage was finally discovered, it was a breakthrough for the marine industry. It was time to answer the questions left behind by the Titanic. The wreckage, lying in 4,000 meters of water in the Atlantic Ocean for decades, was investigated through numerous expeditions and countless photographs. Oceanic explorer Robert Ballard, who visited the wreckage over 30 times, never saw a 300-feet hole. Instead, a 30-feet area in the profile photo of the Titanic indicated an impact covering only 11 feet, through which about 370 gallons of water could enter the ship per second. This rate of flooding meant the ship could have filled with water in 2.5 hours, consistent with eyewitness accounts. The mystery of why the front part of the ship was in better condition than the rear part, and why they were so far apart, was another question. High-tech sonar scanning technology and ROVs captured millions of photos of the Titanic shipwreck site, which were then converted into a 3D model using computer graphics. This model revealed that the 392 feet long stern's decks were crushed into each other as if made of paper, not steel. Various parts were scattered around, with only 2 large engines still attached. The 3D model also showed that when the stern hit the ocean floor 110 years ago, it was rotating anti-clockwise and descending at an astonishing speed of 80 km/h. The impact with the ocean floor at this speed caused the decks to collapse into each other. On the other hand, the bow section's hydrodynamic design allowed it to cut through water easily, unlike the stern. This is why the bow section was in a better condition and did not experience the same forces as the stern. Another mystery was when the Titanic split into 2. Eyewitnesses reported that the ship broke into 2 pieces, and it was long believed that this happened before the ship fully sank. However, the 3D model told a different story. The debris, including coffee cups, dinner plates, chandeliers, deck benches, and personal belongings, mostly from the stern section, was scattered over an area of 3.2 square kilometers on the ocean floor. If the stern had separated above water, the debris would have spread over an even larger area. This suggests that the stern broke off closer to the ocean floor and then changed direction, falling 2,000 feet away from the bow. Today, the Titanic's body is completely rusted, with scientists believing that the rusting process is slow due to the low oxygen levels at that depth. However, tests on rust samples revealed that oxygen released by rust bacteria was causing the rust. Experts predict that in the coming years, the floors of the Titanic will collapse onto each other, and the ship will lose its original shape forever. The researchers the stern cargo cranes have been found and accounted for. There is only one cargo crane still attached to them. Divers explore inside the wreck of HMHS Britannic. The divers entered the ship through the ventilation shaft used for Britannic's fourth funnel to reach inside the turbine room. This video shows them exiting the wreck. You have to remember that Britannic lays on her starboard side and not upright like her sister, Titanic, so diving the wreck can be very disorienting. The researchers NFL draft, the Green Bay Packers select Lucas Vaness, defensive end, Iowa. I did my draft party in Fontana, Wisconsin, a little lake town about 2.5 hours from here in Green Bay. I had all my family and friends in town, and we had an amazing night. It was just a surreal night, a lot of emotion, a lot of anticipation. I had my phone flipped over, but I felt like I wanted to keep checking it and seeing if I had any notifications or calls. Judy was the first one that called. I remember seeing the Wisconsin area code. I think I blacked out. So much emotion, a surreal moment, something I'll never forget.
This guy's going to have to match wits with is this guy, Brett Favre, the New York Jets, opening the season against the guy that the Jets cut to make room for Favre, Chad Pennington, hit 5 over. Joey Porter did not like Mike Nugent putting the Jets football on the team on the side of the field. But the team was a spark plug. 1-15 a year ago. He's trying to get this team in the right frame of mind. First quarter, Favre trying to get the team in the right frame of mind as well. Play fake up top. Jericho Country is the Jet to record Favre's first touchdown. That kid right there, Jericho Country, is going to have a heck of a season with Favre at the helm. Nice play action. We've seen these same guy, different uniform, but same results. Yeah, he looks good in green. And Country's in the end zone. 7-0 Jets. Next Jets possession. It's time for a 32-yard field goal from Mike Nugent. Who acts looks like Joey Porter just hit him. Yeah, you don't see this very often. Well, he comes up limp with a thigh injury. So he misses the field goal, and he's hurt. And the Dolphins seemingly get some.
The ocean floor is littered with the objects which hurtled down from the breaking ship. Champagne and ordinary wine bottles. A metal tank. First thought to be a safe.
Just proceed forward into the grand staircase. And we're going to go down actually 6 decks. And we're going to try to get into the Turkish baths, which we've never seen. Nobody's ever seen it, not since 1912. We're on the boat deck level right now. It went down A deck, B deck, C deck, D deck, and down to E deck. And then below that is a very small, narrow staircase that went down to F deck. And the Turkish baths are deep down in the ship, down in the bowels of the ship on F deck. Freaky cavern down here.
Are we in uncharted territories at this point?
Oh, yeah. We're definitely in uncharted territories at this point. Door to the Turkish baths is just ahead to the left.
Well, you can see the steel walls.
That should be the door right over there. If I can just get through here.
This is the door you're seeing right here?
This is the door. This is the door.
Get up on that hole there.
But is it closed or is it just ajar?
Oh, it looks like access. It's something.
We're in the vestibule. Yeah, baby. Tell them we're in the Turkish baths and we see the tiles.
We are in the Turkish baths and we see wall tiles. Look at that. You guys made the call. Look at the quality of preservation.
Yeah, Ken called it totally.
The preservation of this room is unreal.
Unbelievable. Look at this.
Oh, there's one of the beds.
Yeah, look, there's one of the lounges. Now, I guess these are more of the chaise. Look at that one, it's intact. Talk about deck chairs on the Titanic. There's one right there. Unbelievable. Oh, man. Yeah. So this is all teak. The teak is in, almost perfect condition. Look at these are little changing stalls. Look at these stools. They're just flipped upside down. Obviously, as the ship sank, the wood took in water because of the pressure. They went negative, and then when it hit the bottom, they flipped forward, upside down, out of their respective stalls. This is stunning. This is absolutely stunning.
Look at the decorations. That is like perfectly intact.
Let's get a vertical scan of that. Oh, man. Oh, baby. Unbelievable. Ken called it. Ken called it. He said it would be here. Now, this is look at the preservation of the woodwork.
Is that a dome?
It's a little arch. I think it's an arch. Yes, it's a styling flourish that they had to give it that kind of, Middle Eastern flavor.
Yeah, the Moorish revival.
Mm-hmm.
What, is it one of the cooling rooms?
Well, Actually, I think it's a door to a, I don't know, it's like a little storage room of some kind. They just, made it look really cool. Okay. Yeah, see, look, the door's still in place. Oh, look at that. It's an interlocked Stars of David pattern.
It's just delicate wood patterning, and it's, we've got this sort of leaf motif.
Yes, I mean, you just think this metal room deep down in the ship. Now I feel like, the archaeologists that found, the Palace of Knossos or King Tut's tomb, what it must have felt like for them. This is so beyond what I had hoped for.
And slowly it turns into a domino effect. It's stress on the next component and the next component. It's like a chain reaction.
Almost all of a ship's strength is in its shell.
The next day, I remember thinking how the sunlight, as if I hadn't felt the sun in years.
Very good. Very, very good.
Say goodbye to Uncle Jack.
Bye, Cora.
Hello, Mr. Dawson.
Hello again.
May I speak with you?
Yes, of course.
Hey, I don't know if you guys have this where you live, but on my commute to work, I'll
Practice and the Hendrick right there serving his penalty, basically one lap, much like the 16 car, an extra trip down pit road. That's what hurt the 45. He ran long. Now, what he's hoping for is he split the stage kind of in the middle. He's hoping with maybe 10 to go, 15.